Hey class, this is Chris Haskins with the realestateroundup.com, and this is another edition of When Real Estate Goes Bad. I'm hanging out with Sam Coker today. How you doing, Sam?
Doing good, doing good.
Thanks for your time, and Sam is going to be, I'm glad he's been running crazy. He gave me a few minutes to come talk to you guys. I want to thank you for that, Sam. I know you're rolling hard. Take a few seconds, guys. Subscribe to my channel below. Like the content. Share it with some other investors. If you're not in the business, share it with someone who could possibly benefit from the content here.
You got something later, Chris. You got something later.
I should have. Before we get into Sam's deal that went bad, I love your story, Sam. I want to ask you, I had somebody recently email me. They said they wanted to know, Chris, I'm concerned about getting all my LLC information set up or my corporate documents before I get started investing in real estate. What would you recommend me to do in business without having the LLC set up first? Sam, what is your opinion on that?
My advice to that individual would be to just jump into it and worry about setting up the LLC or corporations later on. I would learn the business first. Try to get a check, get some money, get comfortable. Once you start building capital, you can start worrying about setting an LLC up or an S corp up later on.
Yeah, me too. That's the same thing I would recommend. I see a lot of people saying that are kind of, I guess they're in analysis paralysis. They don't know if they want to have an LLC or INC or an S corp or C corp. I'm like, dude, you need to just get to a check.
Yeah. Get out there and start talking to homeowners. And get comfortable with that process first.
Okay, get comfortable with the process of talking to people.
Yeah.
What did you do, Sam, before? How did you get started?
Well, I jumped right into it. I found me a mentor, Chris Haskins, and I jumped right into it. And my first deal, I didn't have the LLC or S corp set up.
It's good to know.
And,
but you got a check.
I got the check.
I remember that. Okay, so you hear that? Sam didn't have an LLC. Neither did I. I was wholesaling in my name too before I had my LLC set up or trust or anything. So I think that's good. And Sam, you've been in business. You started when?
I met you towards the end of 2015.
15. Okay. So Sam's been in the business since 2015, and he didn't have an LLC set up. He went out there and he got those checks rolling in first, making offers, talking to sellers, and you can do it too. Don't worry about no LLC, getting an accountant, none of that stuff. If you ain't got no money or asset protection, if you don't have nothing to protect, you're not doing anything. So, all right, Sam. The reason why I asked you to accompany me on my series of When Real Estate Goes Bad is you have a juicy story about a tenant situation. Paint me the picture before we get into the problem. Just paint me the picture of how this kind of started.
This started out as me doing a favor for a friend. A friend that was in the military, deployed overseas, and she was having some issues with the current property management that she had in place.
So you were stepping in and kind of helping tenant locator, property management /
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
I thought it would be easy, just put somebody in there, collect the check, but I learned very quickly that it's not that simple.
Doesn't work like that.
No,
Okay.
It doesn't. So yeah, after I stepped in and took over the job, I had to evict the current tenant that was in there.
The one that she put in.
The one that the previous property manager put in.
Okay.
And then I also have the job of finding a new tenant.
All right.
And putting that tenant in place. And yeah, that's when the story goes very, very bad.
All right, cool. So today is more of a tenant situation with Sam, and he's told me the story, and I can't wait for you to hear it. So here we go, Sam. Tell me, just break it down for me. So Sam has a tenant in the property.
Yeah, tenant was in the property.
You placed him in there.
I placed him in there. When I placed him in there, I thought I was placing a married couple into the property.
Why would you think that?
Well, they approached me as husband and wife. The first red flag that I should have probably paid a little bit more attention to was that they both had different last names, and that's not that uncommon.
It isn't.
It's not that uncommon. But I did ask for a marriage certificate, which never was produced.
Okay.
I was always told that we just got married and we haven't got that in the mail yet. I'm not married, so I don't know how all that works. But after they moved into the property, you know, she provided her pay stub, he provided his pay stub. Both of the pay stubs, you know, it looked like they both could afford to pay the rent.
Gotcha.
Once they moved in, the so-called husband disappeared from the equation.
Now, were you as they were moving in, were you interfacing with the wife or the female or the male as you're moving in?
The male.
Okay, so you're interfacing with the male. Gotcha.
I did most of my interactions with the so-called husband.
Gotcha.
So once they moved in, and when it came time for the first rental payment, you know, it was an issue. You know,
The first one.
They were late. They were late with that payment. They made the full payment, but they were late with it.
Okay. Did they pay a late fee?
Yes, they paid a late fee.
Okay.
So the second time around, this time the payment was late, and I called the wife. Or I called the husband. Couldn't get in touch with him.
Second month.
Couldn't get in touch with him. And I called the wife, actually went over to the property, and she was telling me that the husband's out of town. He was supposed to transfer the money. I don't know what's going on. So she tried to put everything on him.
Gotcha.
Right.
Now, had you met her yet?
Yes.
You met her when they moved in?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I met her and her and her 2 daughters.
Okay.
So after about a few days going back and forth, I decided to take it to the courts. I gave them a pay and quit notice.
Yep.
And once the money didn't come in, I went down to the city to file for the eviction.
Mm-hmm.
Before the court date came, they did pay a portion of the rent.
Okay.
So the judge opted not to evict them.
Oh, okay.
So he said.
What did you say? Did you want to evict them, or what did you?
Yeah, I was trying to get them out of there.
And the judge wouldn't let you?
Actually, you know what? They paid the full amount. They paid the full amount
That day.
A few days before we had to go to court.
Gotcha.
I was still trying to go for the evictions. I wanted them out of there.
Yeah.
At that time, I still didn't get the information that I needed as far as both of them being married.
Yeah.
And the husband was always out of town. He was never there. Right. So, third month, same scenario. Late, the rent doesn't come in at all. I hit him with a pay and quit notice. And once the 5 days was up and they didn't pay, I immediately went down to file for the eviction.
Yeah.
So
all this is costing you money, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
Now, when you file for in Virginia, we call it an unlawful detainer. Did you get, it's $65. Did you get that back from them, or did you just call it a wash?
I was just gone. I didn't get it back.
Yeah.
A wash.
All right.
So
this is 2 unlawful detainers you filed. That's $130.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
So second go around, we go to court. She shows up. They still haven't paid. The judge says you're out of there.
Good.
Right. He told me they had I think a week or 2 weeks to get out of there.
Yeah, usually give it 10 days.
So during that time, I thought it'd be a good idea to keep an eye on the property, make sure they're not tearing anything up on the way out. So my friend is not hunting me down, for money. So I sent her a text message. I sent her an email also saying that I was going to inspect the property. I gave her 24-hour notice.
Has she been replying to your emails and texts before this?
Yes, she did. She her reply to my text was she's not going to be at the property. She's not going to be there. I was like, okay, that's fine.
That's good for you.
Yeah, I just let myself in. I don't need to interact with you.
Yeah. I
gave you 24-hour notice. As the landlord or property manager, I can come inside the property.
Very true.
It's in the lease. So so I get to the property 24 hours later. Normally her car is parked outside front. When I get there was no car parked outside front, so I thought it was empty.
Yeah.
She already told me that she didn't want me coming there, but she said she wasn't going to be there anyway. So I was, whatever.
So when you said you were going to be, did you let her know that you were coming?
I told her I was coming. I was coming regardless. I said you don't need to be there for me to come inside the property.
If she said she wasn't going to be there, did she say she didn't want you to come?
She was alluding to that she didn't want me to come to the property. She didn't outright say it. But she was trying to give me all sorts of excuses. I'm not going to be there, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I get to the property. Her car's not there. I knocked loudly on the property, 3-4 times. Nobody came to the door. I opened the door.
You opened the door with your key?
With my key.
Okay.
Open the door with my key. I stick my head in. Property management. And once I stepped inside, I could hear the shower water running upstairs.
Okay.
Which was kind of confused. Like nobody came to the door. The car wasn't outside, so maybe one of her daughters was in the car with her. So I stepped back outside of the property because I didn't want a naked probably a naked female. That's another problem. So I get outside the property, close the door. I bang louder.
Somebody had to hear you.
Bang louder, kept banging. Opened the door again, screamed out, property management. There's somebody hear a voice from the top of the stairs. What are you doing in here? I don't have any clothes on. I'm naked. I'm calling the cops.
Oh, right? Wow.
Yeah. So
do you know who this is at this time? Do you know who it is?
It's the so-called wife.
At this time, you know it's her.
Yeah. I recognize her voice.
Okay.
So,
all right. But you didn't see her yet.
I didn't see her.
Okay.
I didn't try to see her because she was standing at the top of the stairs. I wasn't gonna peek over there when she said she had no clothes on. So I stepped back outside. She calls the cops.
Oh wow.
Right? And I sit there and I wait. Right? So the cops come and they see the marking on the back of my car, so they automatically assume I'm the landlord and they think I'm the one that called them because I'm having a problem with a tenant. So I told them no, it wasn't me that called you, it was the tenant that called you, so you need to go see what her problem is. Right. So I briefly went over the what was going on with them. It's an eviction. They have a few days to get out. I'm just coming over here to make sure that they're not tearing the property up on the way out.
Yeah.
So he goes to talk to the tenant, and she's trying to get a charge placed on me.
A charge?
Yeah, charge. She's trying to say that he had no business being here.
Oh wow.
I didn't give him permission to enter the property. I didn't even have no clothes on. He's coming in here. He could have done anything to me.
Wow.
You need to charge him with something. But the police, I already spoke to the police. He understood what was going on.
Did you have any paperwork from the court at that time?
I did. And I also showed him the email that I sent her, 24 hours, gave her 24 hours, and I showed him the back and forth also.
Good. That's smart, Sam.
Yeah.
What made you bring that?
Well, I had a smartphone, so the email, I could just put the email on the phone.
Okay.
So while he's talking to her, like she's just telling him, you gotta charge him with something. You gotta charge him with this, that. He was like, well, I can't do that. He gave you 24-hour notice. To come that he's coming to the property to inspect.
Yeah.
So this is when she tells the cop, well, the next time he comes over here, I'm just gonna shoot him. He comes inside the house, and I didn't say he come in here.
Shoot you.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Oh my lord.
And the police is like, you can't do that, But,
oh my lord, Sam. And are you hearing her talk to the cops right now?
I'm standing right there. She's speaking loud enough so I can hear her. Yeah. Threatening me, saying that if I come back to the property,
she run a game on you, Sam.
Yeah, if I come back to the property, this is what's gonna happen. And she's looking at me too, like peeking over him, like
What?
Yeah. So
unbelievable.
So the police pretty much told her I can't do nothing.
Okay.
And I can't do anything, but you also can't, do what you just did. Yeah, you can't shoot him also. So he came back to me and he advised me, just come back over here. Unless you come back over here with the sheriff. Just let her ride out, some 10 days is up, then contact the sheriff and have the sheriff come over here and verify that they're out of the property, because we don't need something like that happening.
This is criminal now as opposed to civil.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't let you at least go in to take a look at the property. Did you ask them if they would maybe escort you in or something?
No. At that point, he was just like, let's come back later.
Yeah.
He was like, come back. It's only a few more days. Just come back, and then we'll have the sheriff walk through the property to make sure they didn't tear anything up.
Okay.
All right. Which would have been late because they could have told something up on the way out, and I would have found out after the fact.
Yeah.
But and come to find out that they weren't married at all. The person that was claiming to be her husband wasn't married to her at all. And I actually ran into him a few months later in my neighborhood.
Word?
With his real wife. So I pulled up on him. I had to pull up on him. So
what did he say?
All he could do was just shrug his shoulders. But his wife, when I saw him, and I couldn't believe it, but he was actually in my neighborhood. I saw him and he saw my car. He was like, "Oh man, I'm caught."
He knew.
Yeah, So I pulled over. His wife was maybe about 10 feet behind him, and I asked him, what was going on. He was like, "Man, I apologize." I was like, "So, is that your wife?" Or he was like, "Nah, man, So his wife comes up while me and him are getting into it, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And before I could answer, he was like, does he owe you money? I was like, yeah, he owes me a lot of money.
Oh,
He owes me a lot of money. So I explained the situation to her, you know, and she was looking at him like, oh, really, you know.
Oh, wow.
So it turns out that she knew the female that he put up in there. I guess he was, you know, sleeping around with his wife with the female that he put in there. So she was very familiar with the female, knew her first name, knew where she worked, all that.
Holy cow. Unbelievable. So I was thinking that he was trying to do a favor for a friend, maybe. You know,
he was trying to do a favor for his girlfriend.
He trying to set his side piece, get the side piece hooked up.
Yeah. So he now has that eviction on his record also.
Okay, so they're both on the lease.
Yeah.
So when you went inside, what was the condition of that property there? How did the eviction go? Did you show up, sheriff? Or?
Yeah, the sheriff showed up. The sheriff knocked on the door. They went inside before me. Walked upstairs.
Did you have a key? You had the key still?
Yeah, I had the key. I had the key. So the sheriff, I let them in. They went inside, went upstairs, made sure nobody was in the property. You know, they were more concerned about my safety.
Yeah.
Once they were done, I was able to go inside the property and you know, and see how they left it. Luckily, thank God, they didn't destroy the property. They didn't mess up anything on the way out. Just normal, you know, the place was clean, wear and tear. You know, just had to, you know, clean it up real nice, and that was about it.
Was it a lot of debris left in there, like just belongings?
Yeah, they left a lot of trash. A lot of their clothes was still in there. A lot of mail. Place smelled like, you know, smoke. They were smoking in there. That was about it.
That ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. I'm glad you didn't get shot, my brother Sam. That could have been a lot worse. You know, who knows? She might have been talking smack, but you just don't know what someone would do with their backs against the wall. Plus, when you put them on the street, did you go to the eviction by yourself, or did you have other people show up with you?
I went to the eviction by myself.
Oh wow, okay. What, the sheriff didn't say anything about that?
No, he didn't say anything.
Wow, okay. Well, we just did one. The sheriff said he wanted us to have 16 people. But that's another story. Yeah.
Wow.
In Portsmouth, they said you gotta have 4 people for every bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah, man. But I don't want to get into that right now. That's another real estate deal going bad. But with Sam, landlord, did you have this lady? Okay, once they were out, did you turn it around again, or what did you do, or did you decide to?
Well, after that eviction, the homeowner was en route back to the States from, I think she was stationed in Japan at the time. So, yeah, she said, you know, don't worry about putting anybody else in there. You know, I'll take care of it. And I was happy to walk away from that. You know, especially after that headache. That's probably the last time I'm gonna do property management.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what are the lessons? Give me a few. What's the top 3 lessons you learned from that experience? The
top lesson that I learned is that you have to thoroughly vet your tenants that you put into the property.
Listen to this, guys.
Thoroughly vet your background checks.
Screening, basically.
Screenings, checking court documents, make sure they don't have any prior evictions. Even as far as, you know, calling their job.
Yeah.
To make sure that they're still employed.
Calling, they just got fired the day before.
Yeah. Calling a previous landlord to make sure that they were a good tenant. And also verifying that previous landlord was their landlord, and not a friend that just owns a property and just gave them a fake lease. Because that's what happened with this one.
Tell me about that. Yeah.
So the husband,
listen close, guys.
Yeah, the husband provided me a old lease from his so-called landlord. You know, everything checked out to the point until I even called the landlord. Landlord, you know, gave me good praises about the guy. He was a good tenant. He never gave me a problem. Paid on time. But I did a little bit more research